Hey, I want you to imagine something for me. This is you, or more specifically, this is Alyssa. You're a high school in the early 2000s. Congrats! It's that one golden age of high school that everyone loves talking about. You're a junior that has about one close friend, and a few people you consider yourself at least acquainted with. You live your life joyously, enjoying your youth and doing whatever stupid stuff you can get your hands on. You hang out at parties on occasion, hang out at the mall, talk smack about other people, listen to shitty drama, and even obsess over boys. Or, girls? You miss someone. You hate to admit it, but you do. You aren't alone either. Not just in the fact that your best friend is experiencing the exact same thing, just in a different way. Many people your age have been in the same experience. You're going through grief. A grief so strong it can get the both of you killed. You keep moving on. Or at least you try to. This isn't just your reality. This is the common reality for a lot of teenagers. Struggles left unsaid and festering into habits that become worse and worse for them until they break. This is the dark aspects of being a teenager, and this is how Letters from 16 shows it. Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. This one is going to be more professional than the last one I made recently, so be excited for that. Also, do you guys like the Arsenal gameplay or this gameplay more? I've been switching up the footage I put in the background to mix things up a bit, add some flavor, you know? Anyway, back to the topic of this video. Teenagers. You either love teens or you hate teens. Some adults like teens too. One of them being our president, but we don't talk about that. Everyone knows what a teenager is because we've all been one before. It's the growing aspect of life, and it's the border to being an adult and being a little kid. In fact, I'm a teenager, so I especially know how it's like to be one. But unfortunately though, with being a teenager comes a vast lot of mental problems that both older and younger generations tend to undermine and even ignore. At this stage of your life, your emotions are at an all-time high, so it becomes hard to really process things. This is especially bad considering that in this stage of your life, you're really starting to find out yourself. You ever notice how a lot of the songs teenagers make or listen to are either about depression and suicide, an issue with self-identity, or wanting a partner, or plural, partners, lust, or just all of the above in general?
But you won't because everybody's cheering for Kona girl, for Kona girl. If you wanna play me, let's see what's inside. For Kona girl, for Kona girl. Lying on the ground right next to me. I don't care much about you, but I wouldn't mind if you liked me too. Kisses on your hands, meet me in the bathroom. I wanna be alone with you. I wish that I could climb to the greatest heights. All the world beneath me when I meet your eyes. I wish that I could fall a little bit harder. I wish that I could fall like it would even matter. I wish that I could fall right into your life, but I'm not there at all. I wanna fuck you in the bathroom. I wanna fuck you on the roof of my car.
Yeah guys, maybe instead of writing lyrics, we should be writing a letter to our therapist. Moving on though, Letters from 16 shows this side of being a teenager in a really comedic but also depressing way. Sure, the jokes in this series are actually hilarious, along with the fact the series itself doesn't take itself that seriously at all, actually.
Teacher, if quizzes are quizzical, what does that make tests? Whoa. Teacher, if quizzes are quizzical, what does that make tests? What does that make tests? What does that make tests? Whoa.
But there are a lot of aspects of the series that are taken seriously, and once they're actually put on screen, the environment quickly switches from silly fun to tense drama. I'd say it's comparable to a show called Kevin Can Fuck Himself, where the whole premise of the show is that it switches between the POV of the husband, who sees life as a sitcom, to the POV of the wife, who sees life as this horrifying drama. It's a good show, and I have not seen it, but it's a showcase of abuse in a relationship and how things can change in an instant if you look at another side. This relates to switching in letters from 16 in the way of how quickly things can change. You can be giggling 1 second from a stupid joke the show makes, and then be shivering from anxiety another. It's such a unique but realistic way of showing how teenagers act and feel, and it's what makes this series stand out so much to me. The series practically masters the control of emotions it can have on its viewer, and it's able to do that because it truly understands how being a teenager is like. Being a teenager is fun in games until things take a turn for the worst, and this factor is very evident with the underlying storyline that the two main characters follow. Alyssa and Nicole are two troubled characters. Nicole is struggling from the loss of her mother, along with the underlying situation with her father, and the want to keep her friends out of trouble. Meanwhile, Alyssa is struggling from the loss of a friend, or maybe even more than that, and evidently some internalized homophobia as well. She also wants to get into a pretty problematic relationship as well, simply for money. I guess that's an issue as well. Mind you, we haven't even gotten to episode 3 yet. What is going on with these teens, bro? Both of these situations are just some of the things that can be happening to any teen around the world right now. Both bad situations that just happen to be a part of their lives. And not only do teenagers have to deal with their own problems too, they have to deal with life changes and issues that aren't even their own as well. A good showcase of this in the series is the entire segment with Nicole and Manon, which is probably one of the most tense moments in the entire series so far, actually. Nicole not only has to deal with being partnered with someone she isn't exactly accustomed to yet, and going to a party she isn't comfortable being at, she also has to save someone from being murdered or potentially something even worse happening to them. It's also evident that Nicole may or may have not been a victim of a type of incident like this, which is why she was so quick to act in saving Manon. She knew something was up because she's been there before. It's quite tragic if you think about it. Thankfully, Nicole got Manon out of there, but I don't think this will be the last time we hear about this situation. This is just one of the harsh things that can happen while you're a teenager. Teenagers like to party and have fun, or a lot of them do. I don't personally. I don't trust parties. At these parties, people get drunk or high, or emotions spike, and senses fade, and things go bad. Most prominently with women. Just one of the risks you have to take if you're gonna go have fun as a teen, or really if you're just going to any home-style party. But it's especially common with teenage parties. Whether you wanna believe it or not, most teenagers do not have the maturity to host a responsible and safe party. Along with the topic of dangers, there's also self-dangers as well, like self-suppression, which we can see happen with Alyssa when it comes to her broken friendship with Jess. Self-suppression usually comes from an environment that forces ideals that the person doesn't agree with, but is forced to comply with. I'll use an OC I have as an example for this part. This is Aubrey. Isn't she just a cutie patootie? She's not. Obs here has an emotionally and verbally abusive parent that is strictly religious and extremely homophobic. They believe that same-sex love is an error on this world and that it is sinful, the work of the devil. The parent, whom is her father, forces these ideas on Aubrey, who happens to be a raging lesbian, figuratively and quite literally raging. Her father doesn't want her becoming what he calls filth, so he forces her to suppress her homosexuality. This definitely is not what Aubrey wants, and it causes her to bottle these emotions of denial and self-hatred that output into raging outbursts and quick combat instinct. She fights to get out her demons, basically. This example parallels to Alyssa in a way. Alyssa is a girl whom is most likely under some sort of homophobic standard to be normal and not be gay, which causes her to deny being lesbian at any given point. This, in turn, though, affects her relationships in life, causing her to miss out on opportunities that her heart would take in a heartbeat, but her body refuses to due to unhealthy parental standards. And speaking of unhealthy standards, let's get into the parents themselves. Nicole's father is most likely a character that isn't necessarily evil or abusive, but there's just someone trying to cope with the loss of a lover, the mother of Nicole. In turn, however, they turn that emotional abuse towards Nicole, which creates an unhealthy environment for Nicole's emotions. Parents tend to do this quite frequently. They project their own angst or fears and troubles onto their child through some sort of abuse, and this in turn spreads to the child itself in an unhealthy manner. It's like burning a scar into their body, one that you were given beforehand. It's a cycle that many teenagers go through. Even myself, my parents are very loving people when it comes to recognizing emotions and talking about them. They aren't the best. It's okay not to be a perfect parent, but you should recognize when you aren't doing a good job and try to fix it. It would mean a lot to your kid. Trust me. The series so far is overall very good at showing the lengths of teenager behavior and its dark sides, even if it is in a joking and unserious manner. I personally recommend that you check it out if you haven't already. It's very entertaining, and I'm excited for the newer entries to the story. That's all I have to say for now. Let me know if there's anything I missed or misinterpreted, and I'll see you on the next one. Make sure to take care of yourselves. Bye bye!